Don't you hate that? Had a number.
Yeah. Going down. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of AM Minnesota. Of course, all of us would like to wish you all a very Feliz Navidad. That was Holly Dunn. This morning, we've got a very special show. I want to thank Tiffany Tripp because she's kind of my producer today. She rounded up our guests anyway. Tiffany is the organizer of the Winter Farmers Market here in Faribault, held at the Paradise Center for the Arts. Their final market of the 2017 year is this Saturday from 1 until 4. They got a special event coming up. I don't know, Tiffany, you want to pop in here? Tell people what the special event is?
Hi, Gordy.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, especially now you brought all these nice goodies.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't, but everybody else did.
Got some prep after
brought
doing
me
the
some
first
duck
interview
cakes.
last month.
Yeah. Thanks for the duck cakes, very nice.
So this Saturday we have a special event. We're doing a local cider and cheese tasting, highlighting cheese makers and cider makers located right here in Rice and Goodhue County.
Yeah, you like cider?
I like cider, but I love cheese.
I was just saying yesterday, I don't think I've ever met a cheese I didn't like.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. So I'm always on the lookout for really good cheese, and the people that have been invited to this, aside from being local, I've tried cheeses from all of them, and they all have amazing cheese, and they're all very different.
And it's all local.
It is local, yes. Two of these farms, Singing Hills and Shepherd's Way, are located in Nerstrand, actually just a few miles from our farm here in Faribault. And then Cannon Bells, people that have attended the farmers market in the past know of them. They're located in Cannon Falls.
Fantastic. So I'll let you introduce our guests because you know them better than I do.
Okay, great. So today we have with us Lynn Reek from Singing Hills Goat Dairy Farm to talk about her goat milk cheese. We have Nate Waters from Keepsake Cidery located in Dundas. He is the cider maker and co-owner. And Dan Abelman. Dan has been a vendor at our market since day one last year. He is the orchardist and owner of Abelman Creek Apple Orchard here in Faribault.
Yeah. And people don't realize how much work goes into that. We were just chatting before going on the air. I was telling them when I was a kid, we had 4 apple trees in our yard where I grew up. And of course, I hated them apple trees because we had to pick up the apples whenever we mowed. You know, we'd throw them in a bucket, throw them on the porch, and Mom would make them into apple crisp or apple pie or something because they weren't good eating apples, but they were great baking apples. And there is a difference, right?
Yes, there is, absolutely. We run your apples when they're baked and stuff. They bring out a different flavor in the apple.
Yeah. So you have both kinds, right?
Yes, we have. We run 20 plus varieties out there at the orchard. We run 12,000 trees. We have a lot of brand new varieties that are out on the market or just starting to get on the market.
Imagine how much work that is, folks. 12,000 trees.
Yes, it keeps me busy.
I would guess so. And you were saying that you held a job beforehand, and now you've retired, so you can devote all your time to your apple orchard.
Correct. It's yeah. There's no retirement.
This is a labor of love, I can tell.
Exactly.
Because, well, folks, if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see he's smiling when he's talking. So he enjoys this. You guys enjoy your work too? You like working with cheese?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. You can't keep working this hard if you don't enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a labor of love.
Yes, yeah.
And you guys, I assume, you tweak it all the time to try and...
Yeah, we do. On our operation, it's a small goat dairy. So we milk about 20 animals, and then I buy milk from a neighbor. She milks another 30 to 50 animals. And then at the farm, we turn it into fresh goat milk cheeses. Mainly fresh cheeses like Chev, feta, cheese curds. We do have a couple of cheeses that are a little bit older that have aged and firmed up, and those are great for baking and shredding and putting on pizza and that kind of thing. And I just want to make a pitch for the cider. It to me is fabulous with the goat cheese. Those two are a natural pair.
Wow. We're going to talk to Nate when we get back. We got to do a market update here.
Brown's Family Automotive. Everything is based on Brown family values, like being thorough and remembering to smile. Right now, it's our big finish event. That means lots of year-end deals, like a 2017 Ram Express Crew Cab 4x4 for only $341 a month for 36 months with just $29.99 due at signing. Total. Harry Brown's Family Automotive.
Everybody in our KDHL studio today is participating in the Faribault Winter Farmers Market. Final edition of 2017 comes up this Saturday from 1 until 4 at the Paradise Center for the Arts in downtown Faribault. So what do you think of that as a location, Lynn?
It's beautiful. I love that place. Yeah, it's really nice. I've
It
seen
works.
a few plays there. It's really a fun spot.
And you have a bigger area now for the farmers market than you did last year, right? Isn't it a little bigger?
Yes, we do. Last year we were in the lobby, and this year we expanded into the auditorium. The cheese and cider tasting will be right in the lobby as you walk in.
Oh boy, this sounds delicious. I might have to see if I can sneak down there before I ring bells.
You should.
Yeah, because I love cider. So, you must have a really cool story. I got to get the microphone over here. About how you guys started doing this.
Yeah, I'm not sure how cool it is, but I love it. It's my story. Actually, it's Dan and I share the same dream. We're both we want to grow apples, so we also have an orchard. We grow about 6,000 trees, so smaller than Dan. So that means we use a lot of local apples.
Sure.
And Dan's one of our biggest partners. So we love Apple Creek Orchard over here in Faribault. It's only a few miles from us. We're in Dundas, but that's why we started making cider. We wanted to grow apples, and we wanted to figure out a way to grow organic apples. And then we realized a lot of the apples, you were talking earlier about the bakers and the eaters and the differences.
Yeah.
There's another apple called the cider apple, and that's not good to eat. They call it spitters. These apples are really good for cider, but not necessarily good for eating or baking. So we grow a lot of those, plus a lot of old heirloom apples like Golden Russet and Cox Orange Pippin and Newtown Pippin. And those apples make great cider, but they're not great sellers. So we thought this is our idea. Is we bake these apples that aren't so pretty, but they make wonderful ciders, and we'll make ciders here in Dundas in the Cannon Valley, Cannon River Valley. So we started our orchard about 2013, and we started making cider in 2014, and it's been going great.
Yeah.
We're excited to be part of this event on Saturday.
You got to find your niche, right?
You do, especially if you're going to make cider like we do. We do a natural process, so we're not adding sugars, we're not adding preservatives. We aren't adding flavors, artificial or natural. It's just really all about the local apple and letting it go. So it takes a long time. We don't filter, and that's definitely a niche product. It's not going to be mass. We don't have, like I always joke, we don't have Super Bowl commercials and billboards, and we're not distributing across the world. There's a cidery I was just talking to. They're like, we're getting into the African market. We're just trying to get into the Mankato market.
Yeah. and the Faribault.
But we're already in Faribault. We're happy. We got Faribault. We're in all the stores in Faribault. We've got a great following in Faribault. A lot of people from Faribault come visit us because we're only 7 miles from downtown Faribault. So it's a really nice spot. We love having Singing Hills cheese there. It's a perfect pairing with our cider. We have all the dairies that are the cheesemakers are gonna be there on Saturday. We showcase in our cider tasting room between May and December. Perfect pairing. So
yeah, I like the idea of all the cross marketing you
yeah,
guys are
it's
doing.
wonderful. We have a really wonderful local agricultural industry, and it's very easy to work together because not only do they make amazing products, but they're good people, which is nice.
Yeah, it always helps to work with people who you like working with, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you think about helping the cider maker here?
Oh, it's been a really fun deal with Nate, learning the other side, what apples he's looking for varieties and stuff, and the tannin and stuff, because I have varieties, like Nate says, people do not like to eat them, but they're high in tannin. Arkansas Black, it's almost a real black apple, and it's excellent for what Nate likes to do, so it's been really good partnering with him.
Wow, I'm learning all kinds of stuff here. I didn't even know there was such an apple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really a dark purple.
Yeah, I love it.
So I mean,
Well, Gordy, that's why I try to get people in here to talk with you, so that you and a lot of people in the area become more aware of all the great things that are happening in agriculture right here.
Yeah, right here in Rice County, this is all local production. You're in the stores locally too?
no, I'm not. I have the retail business out there.
Sure.
And then we wholesale a few of them out to different, I have a broker, and then they go off from there. So he goes in multiple
People can
stores.
stop by your orchard and purchase.
Absolutely. We're still open till Christmas Day. And we're at the farmers market on Saturday, and we've been there all the time, and hopefully I'll have some varieties that we're going to keep for the market in February, March, and April, the first Saturdays of the month. And because we're learning how to keep our apples, bring them in at a certain temperature and bring them down naturally, and we're getting a little longer storage. So that's our main goal, to get an apple that we can bring into March and it's still crisp and the whole thing. So that's our goal, and we're coming real close to the varieties. So
fantastic, super. So how many varieties are you going to bring to the farmers market?
I think we make mostly dry ciders. We do have a couple semi-sweet ciders. Again, no sugars added, so it's a little bit more difficult to make a sweet cider when you have to get the natural apple sugar to come through.
So you don't put cinnamon in them either? We
have not put cinnamon in any. That's not saying we wouldn't, make like a cinnamon cider
right.
one day. This one I brought today as a little bit of local honey, just down the road from us. So that's one little sweetener we sometimes will use. But we have, I think, about 8 ciders right now available, depending on what store you're at. We'll probably bring 4 on Saturday. We'll probably have our semi-sweets. We have a special cider made just from the chestnut crab apple, which is an apple that Dan grows. It's a University of Minnesota apple that we love and makes a really nice cider by itself. And then we'll have our dry ciders, and I'll bring our wild cider, which is a cider I make with no yeast added. Just a cider that collects the natural yeast. So I always tell people, if you want a truly local beverage, there's going to be local apples and then local yeast. So nothing brought in, no sugars, no sulfites, nothing, just cider and then the natural yeast in the air, on the apples, on the cloths. They work to make this really nice wild cider. So that's what we'll bring on Saturday.
Cider, cheese, seem like a natural combination, don't
It is, it is. And I have some cheeses that I'm bringing that I think will go nicely with those ciders that he talked about, which is we've got a couple of holiday specials, Christmas specials, a cranberry walnut chev that we do around this time of year, which is just great for special Christmas platters, and that is kind of got a little sweetness, a little sourness, so I think it'll pair really nicely with the cider. And the other thing that we do is a sort of a spicy cheese spread, and that will complement nicely as well. It's got 3 different peppers in it, and so it's kind of a nice hot.
That sounds delicious.
Hot goat cheese. And then the last thing I'm bringing is a goat milk caramel, which we also just make for the holidays, and so it'd be fun to try that with the apples, and see how that goes.
Who doesn't like
That would be
caramel
great.
apples?
Yes.
Right? I don't know too many people that don't like caramel apples.
No, they're delicious.
And it is kind of a holiday, Christmas type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to say that this is a really a special event, because a lot of these items, especially some of the cheeses, you cannot find in a lot of the local stores. A lot of our smaller farmers do sell at farmers markets or directly off their farms. So this is an opportunity for people to come out and try these cheeses and the ciders, and then find out where they can purchase them at the market, and then find out where they can buy them in the future.
Yeah. Say, Lynn, how did you come upon wanting to work with goats?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and for a long time, as I was doing various professional jobs, I was trying to figure out how to get back into farming. And during that time, I apprenticed on several different goat farms, and I fell in love with the animal. One of the goat farms that I worked at for about 4 years, she was also making cheese, and it just seemed like the perfect sort of balance between being outside and being inside, having different kinds of tasks that are complementary but challenging, and it just stuck with me that this was the animal that I really bonded with, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, they're not difficult to work with, goats?
No, goats are different than cows or sheep in that they're super curious about humans, and they want to kind of get in your face and see what you're up to. So you can say it's annoying when they're chewing on your zipper as you're trying to clean out the feeder, or you can find it cute. It's one or the other, but they really tend to try to interact with you as you're working with them. And I've seen cows do that as well, because I've also worked at some cow dairies. But the goats, I think, are a little more aggressive about trying to get attention from people.
Yeah. Do you name your goats?
I do. I name the milkers. I don't necessarily name the babies because I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold on to them.
Yeah.
So I just name the ones that I know are going to become a part of my herd.
So Nate, how do you name your cider?
we name on if we're gonna keep them or not. Basically on process and ingredients. So we take our wild, obviously, is describing that wild process, and then we have our Woods Keep medium, which that's describing that's kind of a little bit of semi-sweet. And the Woods Keep is the name of our orchard that is on site there. So our cidery is based in an orchard. That was always the plan, because again, the orchard came first. Then we're like, oh, let's make a cidery. So the cidery is just 28 steps from the orchard. So that's kind of our named after our orchard, Woods Keep. Then we have a Wooden Spirits, which is a cider that we age on staves from the awesome Loon Liquor Distillery in Northfield. So we take whiskey staves and we age it for another 4 or 5 months. So that's usually a 12 to 14 month cider. That's called Wooden Spirits, and that has different batches because it goes throughout the years. Then we have our Heartwood Dry, which is a cider that's just bone dry, aged on a neutral, not neutral necessarily, a charred oak or cherry or maple woods, depending on what I feel like would balance the flavors that year. And then we have a couple Orchard Reserve, and the one we're really excited about is our cider coming from mostly our orchard and a couple other partner orchards that is 100% organic. So our organic wild is what we're calling it. Probably throw in a different name there, but usually, like I said, it's a kind of trying to tell you the process and what to expect, whether it be dry or semi-sweet, is how we name our ciders.
So how's that going to be? The organic one.
I'm really excited about it. It's got a lot of really weird apples in it, lots of flavors, a lot of complexity, and then you add in that wild yeast, which does whatever it wants to do normally. We're starting to get to know our wild yeast and what to expect from it after a few years now of working with it. But I'm really excited about that cider. Problem with our ciders, and it's not a problem necessarily, but it makes it hard to predict or like let you know, Gordy, like, yeah, you can look for that in May. I can't say that because we let our ciders do its thing. So we don't necessarily have a clock.
Sure.
It's just when it's ready, and it tells us when it's ready. So
kind of like wine.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know exactly when you can look forward to organic wild in the stores. People always ask that. Like, when it's ready is all I got. But that's just the way we've chosen to make cider, and we let the cider kind of dictate the terms.
And you taste it to determine whether it's ready or not.
We're very much about sensory analysis. I'm not saying we don't take some tests. We test pHs and sugar levels. But for us, sensory analysis, everything, even just the sound of it, when we pop the bottle, to the smell, of course, and the taste and the sight, everything is, for us, is about sensory analysis. We want to really feel and taste and hear and smell our cider.
So Dan, we were chatting before going on the air, and you were telling me you have bees right at your orchard.
Yes, we keep bees all the time there. We are not organic, but we're IPM, Integrated Pest Management. I have a third party that checks us out of Madison, Wisconsin and stuff, so we really try to follow the best we can for being land owners and stuff, so we're really happy about that.
So the current decline in pollinators won't affect you because you've got the bees right
absolutely, it'll affect everyone. You know, or don't affect us. That's why I plant the chestnut crab apple trees. It's a pollinator. Bees, we have bumblebees. We do a bee count every spring. We have another third party come in and they'll spend the day out there counting, so we know what our native bees population is like, and we're very happy with that. Without doing some of these third party analysts, you don't know where you are. And we do know where we are, so we're happy and we're moving forward. We're gonna plant a lot of flowers and stuff for the bees coming up. We've set apart part of the land and moving forward strong.
Well, that's cool to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we need those bees, right? We need those pollinators.
Absolutely.
If we don't have pollinators, we can say goodbye to apples someday.
You can say goodbye to probably 2/3 of any produce or anything. So
say goodbye to apple cider.
Made here, at least.
Can you imagine that? So,
yeah,
we do need to see if we can't resurrect that population.
Yes, it's making awareness.
And then you probably heard about the recent news about the neonicotinoids.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's part of the issues.
For those who don't know, where's your orchard located?
We are located at 5524 185th Street West. We are out by Roberts Lake.
Okay.
On that, so everyone knows where the smiley face is, probably locally in the area, and it's a landmark. And we're 2.1 miles down the road, and we run on the honor system and try the apples because what you try is what you're getting, so you should be happy. It's nothing.
And you mentioned you have, what, 20 different varieties? Is that what
Yes,
you
we
said?
have 20 plus.
How many are you bringing to the farmer's market?
We'll run probably 3 or 4, kind of the ability to carry them this time of year and stuff like that. So, and we're real happy at the farmer's market. People are fantastic down there.
People can still stop out and get apples at your place, you said, right
Yes.
up until Christmas.
Yes, we'll be open until Christmas. So,
What a great Christmas gift idea, too.
yes, it
Don't
works
you
out
think?
well. Yeah.
You have gift certificates or anything? The snow is starting to cascade down from the skies and looking very nice and Christmassy out the window here.
There you go.
KDHL Studios. So where are you located, Nate?
We're just down the road. You go towards Northfield on 3, and you take a right on Dahl Avenue, and then another left on a dead-end road called 135th Street, and that's where we're at the end of that dead end. So we're at 4609 135th Street East in Dundas. Like I said, I think it's 7 miles from where we're sitting right now. Yeah, we're open May through December, and for some special occasions during the winter. We're hoping to do our first Lopit this year, and we do a event called La Salle, where we walk around the orchard singing songs and scaring away the bad spirits and hoping that it's an old English tradition, hoping that the trees will grow healthy. It's a really good time, and that's usually in February.
It sounds like it. Like wagon rides or something?
No, but fireworks, things like that. It's kind of fun.
How do people find out about that?
Facebook is definitely a good way of keeping tabs on our events. Our Facebook page, Keepsake Cidery, just look us up on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Just like most of us think have Facebook, like the Winter's Farmers Market has a Facebook page. Just a good way of keeping tabs on all the Singing Hills. I know. Do you use that Facebook yet?
No.
Dan's one thing I'll throw out there is you will be surprised how easy it is to get to Apple Creek from Faribault. I think people maybe don't realize how quick of a jaunt it is to get apples there, because we go
Well,
there
it's a hop,
often.
skip, and a jump out to the lake, yeah. So, Lynn, where are you located?
We're at 16765 Hall Avenue, Nerstrand, and that is just 3 miles west of the Big Woods State Park. One corner of the farm actually butts up against the park, so it's a really scenic, beautiful area of this
So
world.
many different cheeses do you have?
Gosh, depending on the time of year, I probably have 6 or 7 different kinds available. But right now, as we get into the winter, the types that I'm able to make, because the milk supply diminishes,
Sure.
I'm probably down to 3 or 4 kinds of cheese.
And you'll have those this Saturday?
Yes, I'll have some wonderful cheese plate additions, the cranberry walnut chev, a pepper spread, and maybe some of the hard cheese too, we'll see. And caramel.
And you can also learn more about Singing Hills Goat Dairy at their Facebook page and see some beautiful pictures of their goats.
So as long as you're up there, Tiffany, can I get a gift certificate to a friend, a neighbor, a stocking stuffer type thing for the farmer's market?
Oh, Gordy, that's probably the second or third time this week that I've had that request. And we will definitely see if we can figure that out for next year.
Oh, sure. Okay.
We don't have that yet, but some of the vendors do offer it, or they will work with you to create something. So definitely, if that's something you're interested in with a specific vendor, ask them. I'll also put a plug in. If you come down to the Paradise and you're looking for some great gifts besides food, the Holidays sale is going on at the Paradise, and that's all items made by local artists.
Yes.
My mom is actually one of those artists, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah. What does she have there?
My mom does jewelry and mittens mostly.
Oh, okay. Well, they say mittens are warmer than gloves, although I don't remember having mittens since I was a little kid. I'm kind of a glove person. How about you, Dan? You a glove person or a mitten person?
I can be mostly gloves.
Yeah. You mitten or a glove person?
I am glove person when I have to work, and mittens when I'm walking long distances to get out to my spot on the lake.
Sure. How about you, Lynn?
Switched.
I would agree with Dan. Yeah, I'm glove and mitten, and I think mittens are warmer for sure, because when you've got your fingers all together, they stay warmer.
So only got a couple minutes left in the show. Dan, there must be a story behind how you got involved in apples.
Yes, I grew up out in Roberts Lake area, and at the time my family was from out in that area, and I lived on the east side of Faribault at the time, and we traveled out there quite often, so we tried to make the transition to that area, and so we bought a farm, and it came with an apple orchard. So that's how it all started. We love being outside all the time, and we're outside all the time.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
And year round too.
Yes. Oh yeah. We're still putting up deer fence, and we're starting to prune, and there's been no downtimes, because you never know in Minnesota where you're going to get that 3 feet of snow, and you don't want to be walking out there all winter pruning on trees. So when you can go, you go.
So what are your hours for people who might want to stop out?
We are open anywhere from 6 in the morning to 7, 8 at night, especially with the self-serve. So it works out really well. People like that are driving by, or they're on second or third shift, and they can get their apples almost any time out there.
It's self-serve.
Generally, like this time of the year is slow, but on the weekends we'll have someone there helping, because asking questions and stuff. So it works out. So
Sure. Nate, what are your hours?
We're available in about 180 locations from Rochester to Blaine, basically. So you can get whatever those retail options are. And then our spot is only open seasonally, May through December, and it's usually Saturdays and Sundays from noon to 8 is what we're looking at. We're building a new tasting room. It's going to be like Irish pub meets farm, and it'll be really fun.
So can I come out and watch the process? 'Cause
yeah, so when we open up, we'll have tours. People can see how we make the cider. And the nice thing again is that you can 28 steps from the orchard. Usually the tour starts in the orchard. We talk about apples, and then we follow the apple as it goes all along the process. So it's a really fun time for people to learn, and also just be outside and enjoy what the local sort of the woods and the farming experience can be.
Again, that's this Saturday, the farmers market, 1 until 4. We just have a few seconds left. Tiffany, do you want to add anything else before I boogie on out of here?
Well, I just want to remind everyone that aside from Singing Hills and Keepsake, that will be at the Cheese and Cider Tasting, Shepherd's Way and Cannon Bells will also be there. And we talked a little bit about certificates. A lot of our cheese and cider makers offer clubs or subscriptions to have their cheese and cider year round, so ask them about that.
Yeah, you're in tune to KDHLAM, Faribault, Minnesota.